Hello guys, and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to start creating the curtains, and let me show you. These guys will be the result at the end of this video. We're going to be working almost everything in here. Let me tell you that I download a model and that's where I get my reference to create these curtains. Sorry. And well, I will show you the website and the model. This is the result we're going to achieve, and this is the reference I get. This is a reference for other thing in the tutorial, which I download from that. Okay, this is my reference, and this is what I did. I know it's different, of course. We're going to modify a few things. But yeah, if you see this model, you will notice that it's very detailed, really detailed. And well, you will notice that it's possible to create this by moving vertex by vertex, but of course it will take you too long to create this. So we're going to, the first thing we're going to, when we see things like this and we need to create them, we have to think first how we're going to create it. And I decided to create this with a lot of modifiers, really a lot of modifiers. Well, not that much, don't worry, but I did it all this basically with modifiers. Here I'm using remove to resolution, but I was just trying. You could quit this and subdivision surface. Of course, remember the stack of modifiers is really important. It's not the same that I have subdivision surface here than here. You will notice. You have noticed. Okay, I'm going to quit this option from here, and you can see that my curtains has just disappeared. Everything is almost done with modifiers. I have 5 for this and 4 with this, and well, I have a lattice we are going to be using, and our mesh is basically just this. I'm playing with subdivisions and I move this vertex just because I like the way it looks. But yeah, you can see that subdivision, displace, lattice, mirror, and solidify, and ta-da, almost everything done with a lot of modifiers. So we're going to be using displacement. It's almost the more important thing with this model, and I'm using textures of clothes, well, wrinkles indeed. And I get those references from internet, of course. I didn't create them by my own, so I'm not going to provide you the image, but I will tell you where you can download it. So, and we're going to create a few things different when we create this. We are going to move few vertex, and well, it's going to be a little different. Now I'm going to show you where to download all those things. We're going to, okay, first, this is 3D archive or archive 3D. Here is where I download my reference, very important, my reference to create something. So if you want to create a fireplace, I download it, I take the reference, and then I did it by, I used to create it. It's a really good reference. I don't know who work with these models, but usually they are really good. not all of them. For example, you will see that this fireplace is with so much detail. It's really good. And I download the model I show you about with curtains from this website, and the decoration where I download here the giraffes I downloaded from this website. So I really hope you get a nice reference from here. And this is my second choice. I prefer to use blend swap, of course. Blend swap is the first thing you should try to use, but blend swap is really new if I compare it with this. And yeah, I hope you find these websites useful. Now, CG textures. We're going to download the textures from this website. We're going to select wrinkles, and we're going to be using three different textures with these curtains. So the first is going to be in hanging, and the second one is going to be in straight. We are going to be using this, the green one. Okay, this is going to be the one we're going to be using, and the second one is going to be this. Let me see if this. Yeah, we're going to be using this, the last one and the green one. Okay, so you can download it. You have to create an account for this website, but it's for free, and you have a quote in here. But well, this is where we are going to get our textures, and of course we're going to be using this, but we're going to create another one. I'm going to use Photoshop. You can use GIMP. I know you can create this in GIMP and maybe other software. And we're going to create, I hope you know what fibers are. In this case, I'm just creating a new file, and with my resolution of the screen. This is in Spanish, but you will have to use it. Well, maybe you're using it in English. If you're in English, here you will have an option which is called render and fibers. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using. This is 16 by default, but we are going to be using 45. Okay, now I'm going to tweak these textures just with few things I want to change. Let me just modify it. Few things, something really quickly. You know what? Well, who cares? Okay, I'm going to modify this. Something that I recommend you, I'm going to be using filter, and I'm going to be defocus. We're going to be using defocus, a Gaussian, and okay, as I told you guys, I'm just going to, I will modify this just a little. It's not too much, not big deal. You can use it the way it comes. Okay, we're going to be using this texture, and we're going to be using this to create some detail, to add some detail to the curtain. Once you have created the texture, of course, all you have to do now is save as and change this to PNG or JPG, whatever you want. So we're going to be using this for displacement. It's really useful. I really like it. It's just for detailing it, but it's okay. Now I don't want to. Okay, guys. Yeah, let's start. Okay, this is our first blend: walls, roof, and floor, and we're going to activate the fourth layer. And yeah, you know what, this is really screencast for you guys. Okay, I'm going to be using Alt B, and with this, let me explain you. I'm going to I'm creating a shape here, which could be a rectangle or a square, and the things that I select in this square, the area, I think, is going to be visible. Nothing else in the scene will be visible, just the selection I create with Alt B. Okay, the view, if you're watching this from front or side or top, that's really important, but in this case we can be using this. Okay, so we're going to be working like this, and yeah, you will notice that this is really useful, especially with things like this. Okay, I told you that it's really important from which view you select to create Alt B. It's a restriction for the view. Okay, now I'm going to erase that. I'm going to add a cylinder, and we're going to be using like 24. It's okay. Rotate this, and for now this is just going to be a reference. I will explain you, or well, maybe you already know what is this. This is the stick, which is going to be supporting the curtains and all that. Okay. You know what, let's work with this and let's finish it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to do this stick. Okay, we're going to be using edge split, and okay, I'm going to be using mirror with this object. Even with when it is really a simple object, I'm going to use a mirror. I don't want to create all those things 2 or 3 times. Okay, first I'm going to add 2 lap cuts, scale them in x-axis, really thin, and I'm going to select these faces, duplicate, hide, and now I'm going to erase this lap erase the edge loop, and now Alt H to reveal. I'm going to scale this in Shift X axis and extrude, scale Shift X axis just a little, maybe okay, like that. Yep. Now I'm going to duplicate this in x-axis, select both, and this is just going to be detail, not big deal. But yeah, I'm going to duplicate this now. I'm going to scale shift x axis. What's wrong with this scaling x axis? What's wrong with me? Okay, now we're going to be adding a UV sphere, which is really huge. Okay, now well, yeah, let's use like that. Now we are just adding some detail. Maybe I'm going to move this. Scaling it. Okay, this is going to be R stick. Let me see if I can do something else with this. I don't want to spend too much time with this because this is just detail, and you can change this if you want. Indeed, that's all I'm gonna do with this, and we're going to rename this object later. Okay, now we're going to start by adding the curtain. I'm going to add a plane. Okay, rotate it in x-axis 90 degrees, and this is 2 meters in z-axis and in x-axis. So it's not bad, it's not a bad size, but we're going to modify this in a few ways. For example, we're going to be using the curtain like in here, and we're going to scale this in x-axis just a little, maybe like that, just a little, not too much. Okay, I'm going to move this. Now I'm going to work just with this layer. Okay, and well, yeah, I'm going to hide this because the size is not even matching. Now we're going to be using, you can choose between self-division surface and multi-resolution. We're going to be using this now, and we're going to be using 3 optimal display to save some RAM. Okay, now I'm going to add lap cuts. How much? Okay, I don't want to have perfect squares like this. I want something rectangular, so I'm going to be using more lap cuts in z-axis than in x-axis. In z-axis I'm going to be using 25, okay, and in x-axis I'm going to be using 15. Okay, hold on, this is working. Let me see. Oh, of course this is not. Okay, now it's working. 15. Okay, now we're going to create textures, and I'm going to create a really fast shader, which is going to be called curtain, a specular, and I'm going to create textures. Okay, this is going to be line or wrinkle, you can call it the name you want. We're going to be using the image we just download, and this is going to be, I don't know, detail or something like that. And we're going to deactivate everything. We don't want this to be affecting color or anything like that. You could just check this, uncheck I mean, but no problem with this, they are not going to be working. Now I'm going to open Maple Studios tutorial maps, and okay, here I have the textures, and this is another one that we're not going to be using. So the first is going to be this, second will be this, and the last one is going to be fibers. Okay, so now we're going to add displacement modifier. Okay, for example, I'm going to select texture I want, and this is the result. You will notice that this is looking really weird, and maybe you're thinking, what is this? Don't worry guys, because we're going to use another strand like .1. Okay, we're not going to be using local, we're going to be using UV. So I'm going to select everything here. I'm going to add, I will open UV image editor, and you will see. And I'm going to using project from view bounds. Okay, so this is going to be matching with this. Okay, completely. So now we're going to be using UV. We're going to select the UV. Let me see. We're going to copy the displacement, and all we have in here is just the displacement modifier duplicated. So we're going to change this because we're going to be using the detail with this, and again looking really bad. Okay, we're going to change this trend again, and 0.1. Now you will see the difference. We have or we don't the detail. Okay, so now we're going to be using Solidify, and 1 centimeter is too much. Again, as usual, we're going to be using 3.5 millimeters. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, that's our number. Okay, so well, this is pretty much, well, you know, you can see that this is really easy to modify in edit mode, because it is not too much resolution. It's something really easy. Now I'm going to move this just a little in y-axis. I don't know with which one. the thing here is, guys, that this is going to be touching the floor, and we want this to be like touching the floor in a really soft way. Soft way, I say, not soft way. Okay. We're going to be using proportional editing no more. We are not going to be using it. Okay, I'm going to move just the vertex in Z-axis in a random way to add some detail, something really quick. I'm going to be moving a little more. Okay, not too much, guys, because if you do it too much, it's going to be looking really ugly. Let me show you. Not working. Looking really bad. Okay, now we will rename this later, guys. Don't worry about that. We're going to duplicate this. And look, now we're not going to be using the shader anymore with this. I'm going to scale this in X-axis, but I'm going to do it out of edit mode, and that's because we're using UV with this, but with this one, with this we're using UV with the texture coordinates, but in here we want to use local, and if you scale this in edit mode, it's not going to be working anymore, the local, or you could use the UV to make it match to get the result I get with local. I will show you. We're going to scale this in X-axis like 0.35. Okay, 35. Now I'm going to move this in X-axis until it touches the line. Something I really want to do is I'm going to scale this in Z-axis to 0, because with this it's not necessary to have this detail with this vertex. Okay, now with this guy is going to be really different. Okay, this texture detail is not going to be useful with this, so we're going to quit. We're going to change line 2 with line 1 with line 2. Okay, and as I told you, we're going to be using local. We will need just a little more strength, and Solidify is going to be a little higher, 5 millimeters. Okay, we're going to be using mirror with this. We're going to use the cursor just in the middle. Okay. Let me see that again. Okay, interesting. We're not going to use it. We're going to use a mirror, but we're going to work with this just a little in a second. Okay. For example, if I duplicate this from cursor and scale in X-axis -1, we have this result. But yeah, we don't want that. We're going to be using mirror. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to change add mirror. Sorry. Of course, we don't need clipping. Mirror can be the second in the stack. You can see that this is changing, but yeah, I'm going to use it in the third position, I guess. Now something really important we're going to be creating is we're going to add a lattice, and with a lattice we're going to change the way this is looking like right now. We're going to get a shape that we already know how it will be. So I'm going to add the lattice. I'm going to hide this with this, and I'm going to quit mirror for a while. I don't want to see it. We're going to be moving. We'll be moving the lattice to make it match with the curtain, which, by the way, we have to rename to have a really clean and organized outliner, guys. I will remember that. If I forget it, I will do it out of video, but I will do it. So make it match as you can. Make it fit with the curtain. Okay, this is making decent match. Maybe like this, not big deal. Okay, now this lattice is going to be modifying our curtain, and this you can go in edit mode with this lattice, but the thing here is that when you move this is going to be modifying the mesh, and we need more vertices. So let me show you that if I increase this numbering here, you will see those lines which are be adding to the lattice. You see, okay, we're going to be using 6 in a vertical way, and we're going to be using 16 in a horizontal way. Okay, you will see how this works. So we are going to add the lattice modifier in the deform lattice, and well, I will show you that if I you know what, Solidify should be the last in the stack, and lattice should be okay. Yeah, I think that this is the way this thing should be. Let me see. Well, we are going to see that later. I could move this, and you will notice that it is modifying the mesh. If I just move this, it's going to be modifying the mesh. So now we are going to create with the grease pencil the shape we want. I'm going to select the lattice, and with D I'm going to create the shape we want to get, okay, which is going to be like okay. I'm such a bad drawer, but yeah, this is going to be working. You know, I'm like skillless with drawing. Okay, now we're going to be using the cursor here in this line, and from cursor with period we are going to be scaling all these things in x-axis. For example, I want to scale this in x-axis, and maybe this one too. Come on. Okay, I did a mistake here because I moved the cursor by clicking, and I will have to do it again. If you moved your cursor when and you are modifying the mesh from cursor, this could be a really mess. So of course I'm doing line by line now, but this is going to be faster just in a minute, so don't get bored. Anyway, this is really quickly. You know what? All these lines I'm going to selecting and scaling next axis really much. Just like that. Let me see. Well, it's not looking that bad right now, but yeah, of course we have to change this lattice. To make it look really better. So once you have created the shape you want, I'm doing this kind of fast because I don't want to spend too much time with this. But the thing here, guys, is that you get the idea. I really hope that you have a better drawing skill than I have. Okay, let's be honest, I have no skill for that, but or practice, I don't know. But I just will show you a really quick way to do this. Let me see. Okay, this is looking not good, not bad, but you have the idea. The idea is that, okay, you're thinking, why this is looking so weird? Okay, it's because of the stack. Okay, the stack of modifiers. Okay, now Lattice. I just don't remember really good the way this should be. Now let me think just for a second. I guess mirror is the one that, okay, mirror is really down in this stack. Okay, now, well, this is looking, yeah, this is looking good, but I'm going to raise this grease pencil, and I have to tell you guys that you should be working with this a little more than I'm showing you right now. Okay, this is not a finished model. You have to tweak this, try a few more things, but let me see. Okay, you will notice that this is looking the way we want. Now this is covering the whole window, but it doesn't matter. Okay. Yeah, I don't like the way this stick is looking like, you know. We have to work with this as much as you can work with this. Maybe if I do it thinner it will be looking better. Oh, instead. Okay, this is looking better. Now, just checking. This should be matching with the walls and all those things, of course. Yeah, looking better. Okay, let's move to the fourth layer, and let me see what if we're missing something. We have this movement. This is not completely straight. We have some movement with the curtains. Of course, if you have wind, if it's a windy day, this should be moving a lot of. But right now we're going to use it this way. You could always use the force fields and add wind, and you can be really creative with this. I'm going to be moving this in Z-axis. Okay, and maybe like here. Okay, in edit mode of the lattice we're going to move this, and now make it match. Now we are modifying too much the whole object. For example, we are going to scale this in x-axis just a little, and for example this should be touching the floor, so we're going to scale this in z-axis. Okay, like that. Okay, I'm just making a few changes, but I will try to work with this out of video. Okay, now for example, now we're going to make this match in the scene. For example, we're going to hide all these things, and we're going to move this curtain as much as we can to the wall, near to the window, really much. I will try it. This stick is for this curtain, for the curtain here. So yeah, like that. Now we're going to move this in y-axis. Maybe this is too far from the wall. I will check. Okay, yeah, really long distance. It's not necessary to be that that far. Now I'm going to scale this in x-axis a little to make it fit with the window as much as I can. um, yeah, we're going to create another stick here. Maybe we'll change this one a little, and maybe we're lucky we can move this a little more in x-axis. Yeah, we are going to be modifying a few things, guys, but now I'm going to jump to another important part, and I will show you how to create this. Look, we have to be using something with the curtain, like, and maybe like here. I think that could maybe like, yeah, like here, and stick it to the wall. Yeah, we're going to be using something here. And how we're going to create that? Well, we're going to do it with curves. So the first thing, guys, we're going to be using is a Bezier curve. We're going to rotate this, and let me see. Okay, sorry guys, I'm doing this really slow. I'm going to rotate this or scale it in x-axis to 0, doesn't matter. I really like to use this in free. Okay, we are going to be hiding this and this. Okay, maybe like yeah, you know, guys, we're going to be working with 2 dimensions for now. Okay, of course this is not properly. We're going to be moving all this to make it match again with the curtain, or curtain, I don't know. Maybe I will subdivide right here, and we'll be using, maybe we're going to subdivide in here too. Because we want to modify a few things. Okay, let me see how this is going. Okay, this should be really close, really near to the wall, but should not be touching the wall. So now I'm going to modify this. There it is. I'm going to be modifying this, and you should be modifying yours too, at least just in case that you have created just as I did it. You guys feel free to work with this and with the handle type you want. As usual, that's if you're having a really good result but your technique is different, don't worry. Okay, just a little more. Okay, look, the thing here is that this should be even more far from the wall, so I will create last few changes here. Will not, it's not big deal. Okay, I really hope you are getting the idea of what we are doing. We are going to add, we're adding this curve because we need to add the detail of the curve of the curtain, I mean. So now I'm going to move it in y-axis. Okay, I think that yeah, this is how we're going to be working with this. I won't be changing anything else. Now guys, we're going to be working with this. If you want to create a backup, go ahead and do it. Indeed, I will create a backup, and I'm going to move it to the layer which is just down. I think it's the 14th layer. Yeah, it's the 14th layer. And now I'm going to change this to 3D. Use the cursor there. From cursor I'm going to rotate this, and I'm going to move this a little, Z-axis. Now this is completely straight and we don't want that. We want this to be curved. Okay, now right now this is not looking really good. You should work with this. For example, here I want this to be lower. Here I'm going to rotate this a little. Same with this, and move this down just a little. Okay. You'll have to work with this just a little, because yeah, this should be looking good. You don't want to have a weird behavior with this curve. We are almost there. Front, let's check back. Okay, we have some work to do with the back. Let me check. Okay, now maybe I'm going to smooth this curve. Let me see how this is looking like. Oh no, I don't like how smooth is working. Okay, look, this is the top of the curve. I'm going to use the cursor here, and from cursor I'm going to scale this in x-axis just a little. Now this is really far from the curtain, and we're going to scale this in x-axis and make it match as much as we can. There is matching almost. So now I'm going to using Alt B to modify just a few things right here. I want to. Okay. For example, okay. Okay guys, now after this little break, I have modified the curve to get a nice shape. You will notice that I have the same points than before, the same extrusions. I have just 5 points, and well, we're going to convert into mesh. Okay, and now you will see that you have a lot of vertices. I'm going to smooth this object a few times, maybe like this. Okay, and I'm going to move it in the x-axis, just making it match, changing a few things, but okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select all the vertices in here. I'm going to extrude, and from cursor I'm going to rotate this, maybe just like this, scale it in x-axis to make it match here. I'm going to enable the screencast, scale in x-axis. I'm going to move this in z-axis, maybe scale it again in x. I'm going to make it thicker, you know. Now I'm going to make it smooth. Oh, shade smooth, I mean. Alright. Now I'm going to add Solidify. Okay, 1 centimeter is going to be nice. Let's flip normals to have in the other direction. Okay, now, well, I'm going to add a lob cut here, and something I would like to do is I'm going to scale this in x-axis and see how it looks like. Okay, I like. Now with subdivision surface, subsurf. Hey, I like the way it's looking like. The way it is looking like. Okay, now I'm going to add just loop cuts. I'm going to apply Solidify. You know what? I have to check something first. I would like to check if with even thickness this is going better, and yes, it is. High quality normals. I'm going to apply. Okay. Here we are. I'm going to add lap cuts, guys. 2. Okay. And now you will notice that this is looking better. Yeah, this is looking the way we want. Out of video I will change a few things, guys, as usual. Now we are just really close to finish with this. Okay, this is going to be the center of the object. I'm going to add mirror. I will apply it because this is not, you see that we have differences, so we're going to move this in y-axis just as much as we need, and hey, we're on the way. Now okay, I'm going to use the cursor here and I'm going to add circle. Okay, we're going to be using not that much vertices. We're going to be using like 24. Yeah, rotate x-axis 90 degrees, scale this, and you know what, let me see what happened if I scale this in x-axis just a little. Okay, I don't like the way it's scaling. So I'm going to use the cursor here, select the entire object, and from cursor I'm going to scale it in x-axis just a little. Yeah, I like the way it's looking now. Cursor to selected, duplicate in x-axis negative, and yeah, it's looking better. Well, again, now what I'm gonna do, what we are going to be doing here, I'm going to extrude this, scale it, extrude Y, and scale. So I would like to hide all those things. We're going to extrude this and scale it too much. Move it just a little, make it smooth, face the direction of the normals. We're going to be using subdivision surface. I don't know if 2 is too much, but we will see in the way. Okay, now I'm going to select this vertex as usual. I'm going to extrude in Z-axis, select this, cursor to selected, delete the vertex, and as usual I like to use a spin, so here it is. No, I don't like it. Scaled more, Alt R. I don't like it. Scale it more, Alt R. Okay, I like it. Now cursor to selected here. This time we're going to change a few things. Scale, shift y-axis, there, and like there. We're going to add a loop cut here, and another one here. Okay. Now we're going to add a loop cut here too, and yeah, you know, I want to scale this a little, not too much, just a little. Scale, shift y-axis. Okay. I'm going to scale this one too. Inverse selection, maybe move it in y-axis. I don't know. Okay, now cursor to selected. I have selected here 24 vertices. So what I'm gonna do here now, I'm going to add a UV sphere. This time with 24 and 12, and I'm going to scale it too much. Whoa. Okay, now scale with control, and I'm going to select that vertex. you notice that it is matching in a perfect way. So now I'm going to delete these faces. Oh, use these faces. And this is going to be matching. Now I'm going to use smooth with this object, the entire object, and remove doubles. It will match. You will see. Okay. Now we're going to be using something to make this match with this, but I don't know, maybe for example, look, I'm going to save this. Okay, I will scale this and move it in x-axis. Scale it just a little more, and I'm going to move it in z-axis. And if you want, you could do this thing match with the clothes. Clothes, not clothes. You could make it match, but well, I have a different idea, and honestly, it's mostly what I like. I'm going to scale it to make it smaller. I'm going to apply rotation and scale. And we're going to be working, or at least I will be working here with a torus. Okay, but of course this is too much. I'm going to divide this in two, and this one in two. Now the minor, I don't know how to say it, radius, we're going to make it okay. I want this to be really thin, and maybe this is going to be working. You know what? It's okay with this number. I'm going to scale it now. Scale it. And yeah, I'm going to move it here. It should be touching both objects. Now, what I want is this is going to be the center of the object. Why? Well, really easy, because now I'm going to rotate the object with double R. I press twice R and I can freely rotate it. I will rotate this in y-axis, and I'm going to scale this. In z-axis I have to rotate this in x-axis too. Rotate in z-axis and scale it. Rotate in y-axis, rotate in z-axis, scale again, and oh, I have to scale it just a little. No, it's not a little. Well, here you could choose between which object you are going to be modifying. For example, this time I think that is easier to modify this part, and so I'm gonna do it. I will try. For example, I'm going to move it even more. just like that. It's looking natural, you know. It's looking like if it were like natural. It's looking natural. That's good, usually good. Okay, um just let me see if there is something, guys, that I am missing. I'm just tweaking this. You could tweak it by your own. Okay, I got it now. First, I'm going to join this object with this. So now it is with subserve. Um, Something else that I want. Of course, this is not matching. Good. So I'm just going to move a few things. Cursor to selected. Yeah, that's not what I want exactly. From cursor, I'm going to scale in X and Y. No, that's not working, you know. I will have to modify a few things. Yeah, well, this is not exactly what I was waiting, but yeah, it happened. And you have to know that these things are going to be happening. So yeah, all you have to do now here is move some vertices. Yeah, well, I have to modify now one or two things because of this movement, because of that move, I mean. But yeah, this is just moving some vertices. And I have to tell you something, guys. I'm just moving this because you have to know how to do it. In this case, you don't need this to be matching 100%. It is good, and it is something that you have to know how to do it. But remember that this is not going to be visible in our render. Maybe you will notice, but it's kind of hard that you can see that this is happening. I'm just showing you how to do it. And if you have that kind of troubles in the future, you will know how to fix it. But yeah, this is a detail that if it's not going to be really close to the camera, it's not necessary to be working that hard with. Okay, now I'm going to join these objects again, and first I'm going to rename everything here. Okay, no, first I have to cursor to selected, and I'm going to be using mirror with this. Where is it? Oh, I have to use of course we don't need clipping with this one. Okay, but this is not matching, you could duplicate the other one and make it match. So remember to move all these things. You could be using even proportional editing. But yeah, you know what? I already showed you how to do this. I'm not going to do it again. um, okay, guys. Um, I'm going to do a last check, and if I found that everything is good, I will see you in the next video. Well, guys, yeah. Um, if there is something I'm missing, I will tell you in the next video. All I'm gonna do here now is I'm going to be modifying, tweaking a few things, really few things. For example, maybe I'm going to move these vertices just a little, and oh, that's good. That is good. That really good that this has happened in the video. Look what happened with my curtain. It's looking really weird. This is not like if the modifiers were not working, weren't working. So I found that if you select the texture and you refresh it, I don't know why, but it's fixed. Okay, so well, I hope you found this as a useful thing. But yeah, I hope you learn how to create this. This is a really useful way. Ooh. I have told you like 2 times that see you, but I'm going to create this with, I'm going to modify something here, and I will show you really quickly. I'm going to select one every 2 vertices. Okay, and I'm going to move this. I will move them in y-axis. Hold on. I'm going to quit this, and maybe even this. No, this is okay. Okay, just like this. I'm moving it in y-axis, just as I told you that I modified the original or in my blend. Okay, now I'm going to select this vertex. I noticed that when I do this, it creates, you achieve a really nice touch with the curtain. I really like the way it is looking. Okay. Okay guys, I really think that this time we are finished with this video. really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you learned a few things. And well, see you guys.